Happy January 12th, JLD here, and welcome to MicroStrategy Today. In this show, we'll be talking about how we're just 8 days away from the first pro-Bitcoin government the US has ever seen. When will MicroStrategy stop buying Bitcoin? We'll talk about MicroStrategy World. We'll talk about the proxy vote that's coming up, and I shared the best 40-minute documentary I have ever seen that shares the power of Bitcoin and the weakness of fiat. You have to see this. Now, this video is just my opinions. It's not financial advice, but MicroStrategy Today is the only daily show bringing you the insights of MicroStrategy 7 days a week. So comment below where you're watching from. We're collecting this data. We're going to create something great with it. And let's dive on in. The first post I want to talk about is from Stack Hodler. I'm on a run right now and had to stop. We are 9 days away, now 8 days, from a pro-Bitcoin administration taking over. We are less than a year into the most successful ETF launch of all time. The Fed hasn't even stopped QT, quantitative tightening, let alone restarted QE, quantitative easing. Yields are skyrocketing. The dollar is sky high and Bitcoin sits just below 100K. It just hit me. Bitcoin has really won. It isn't going away. It's going higher, much higher. Cheers to all you legends who helped make this a reality. Cheers to you, Stack. Cheers to you, my viewers. Let's move on. Wear the orange tie. Does Michael Saylor need to say anything more? I don't think so. Wanted to do a share from MicroStrategy. This individual just keeps pumping out amazing content. Sometimes we talk about the endpoint in the execution of MSTR Bitcoin strategy. How much Bitcoin will we end up with? It's a great question. Some estimates range from 3 to 10% of the entire supply. The phrasing of this question implies Saylor will stop buying Bitcoin at some point. It suggests that Bitcoin will go up in price so much that any future acquisitions will become negligible relative to our stack. I disagree. This is not what we have seen. As Bitcoin price has risen, it has increased our access to credit, not decreased our access. The more Bitcoin we have, the more Bitcoin we can buy. This is normal. Wealthy people have more credit worthiness than non-wealthy people because they are more likely to be able to repay their debts. As Bitcoin price rises, because we hold Bitcoin, our access to credit will continue to rise as well. People will be even more willing to lend us money the more popular Bitcoin becomes. As a result, the only way we finish accumulating is when there is no Bitcoin left to accumulate. We will finish buying when the last person has finished selling. Powerful. And you think about it being added to the NASDAQ 100, the QQQ, the future addition to the S&P 500. It's inevitable. It's just a matter of when, not if. These all add massively to your credit worthiness. And this is all major catalysts that are coming to MicroStrategy this year and beyond. It's so powerful. And I was very honored and touched when I saw this tweet from MicroStrategy because I've been following his work for some time. And I'll show you some more of that in a second. But he said, a shout out to MicroStrategy Today, a YouTube channel with excellent coverage of MicroStrategy as a company and, almost as importantly, MicroStrategy as a subculture, hosted by longtime MSTR shareholder JLD. The channel has already 10,000 plus followers. I see 100K coming soon. Do yourself a favor and subscribe today. Was very touched and honored by this because, again, I really respect MicroStrategy's work. And I am here for you, my friends. I am a longtime MSTR shareholder. I believe in Michael Saylor. I believe in MicroStrategy. I believe in the decisions that you and myself made in becoming part of the wealth changing opportunity of our lifetimes. I believe that this is a generational wealth opportunity that we are taking advantage of. So congratulations to you. We're doing this together. And I actually have been following his journal, which he also posts these on X as well. It's MicroStrategy. And if you actually look at the URL, it's microstrategy.com/journal is where I go. And all of these articles that he posts are great. Again, it's just very touching and an honor to see the January 11th MicroStrategy Today article. This Micro Sushi one's fantastic. I recommend you following his blog and following him on Twitter as well. He's just doing some great work. So thank you for that. This is that 40-minute video that I'm telling you, I'm literally making my wife sit down and watch this today. I mean, she's going to want to because she's interested in this stuff. But I'm going to say, honey, you have to watch this because these 40 minutes were unbelievable. I was literally riveted for these 40 minutes. It's the show is called What's the Problem? It's a fantastic documentary about the power of Bitcoin versus the weakness of the fiat. Michael Saylor reposted this. So, of course, I had to go ahead and say, well, if Michael Saylor thinks this is worthy, it's worthy of my time as well. And I sat here and I watched this for 40 minutes. It was so good. I just can't say enough about it. If you do watch it, please comment below what you think. You may hate it. I doubt it. But you may not love it, or you're going to love it like I did. I would love to get your feedback on that because, man, to me, this is something that you and I, who already understand Bitcoin, who already believe in MicroStrategy, we can share with people who just aren't there yet. And maybe, just maybe, a percentage of them will start to kind of have that crack of light that they start to see that leads them down the path to where you and I are now. So just wanted to share that. This is the MicroStrategy World discount code that I wanted to share with you, 20% off. If anybody's seen one that's even a bigger percentage than that, please share it in the comments below. This is just what I've seen online. I would love to know if anybody watching is going to MicroStrategy World. I am very positive that I am very likely going to make it. I'd say it's over a 75% chance right now. I'm actually talking with the MicroStrategy team about some things that we might be doing, that I might be able to be doing while at MicroStrategy World, which will be a lot of fun. It's going to be in Orlando, the 5th to the 8th of May. Let me know in the comments if you already plan on going. Let me know if there's a better discount around. I'd love to just share that as well. I'm just trying to share this to help anybody that's already been thinking about going. And let me know if you're going. I'd love to see you there. We'll have a little meetup and it'll be a fun time. Now, I do have it's about a 3 to 4 minute clip. And this clip is awesome to me because it's just showing how the TradFi world, traditional finance, is becoming more aware and more obsessed of MicroStrategy and what Michael Saylor is doing. To me, to become aware is to become obsessed, because if you become aware and you start learning, it goes down that rabbit hole. Then all of a sudden at one point you're like, click, I see what Michael Saylor's been doing for 4 years. I see why MicroStrategy is the top performing company as far as returns go for the past 4+ years. I see their the lead that they have and the dominance that they have in this world and the moat that they've built, and how nobody's going to be able to catch them, but that's okay, because everybody that gets on that MicroStrategy playbook is going to win, because everybody's going to buy Bitcoin, drive the price of Bitcoin up with supply and demand, which benefits everybody involved in the Bitcoin standard, in the Bitcoin playbook, in the MicroStrategy way. So sit back, enjoy this video, and we'll be right back.
So first, our Bitcoin Opportunity Fund owns MicroStrategy. It's one of our top positions on our public side. We have both a hedge fund and a venture fund, and on the hedge fund side, it's one of our largest positions. We really like that story a lot. In general, Michael Saylor and team have found the arbitrage of how to tap capital markets, whether it's convert debt, equity, and now even perpetual preferreds, which would be the form of dividend type structures that he'll use to sell capital markets products, to then capture as much US dollars as he can get through those sales and invest that in the scarcest asset in the world, Bitcoin. So that arbitrage will continue. MicroStrategy, to answer your question on valuation, it's traded historically around a 2 times book value, 2 times its value of its Bitcoin on its balance sheet. Right now, it's around 2.2 times. So our view is like it's pretty cheap. I mean, it went up into the mid to high threes multiples to its underlying Bitcoin assets there at the peak a few months ago in November. I think that the way I look at it is it's a little like the regional banks that, you have JP Morgan trades at 2 times book value, for instance, right? One of the leading banks ever. You'll have other banks up here in Boston where I live called like Brookline Bank trades at 0.8 times book value. But regional banks kind of trade at those discounts to the mothership. I think MicroStrategy has created a massive flywheel. It'll be possibly the leading Bitcoin financial type bank when the world's ready for that in a handful of years. And so I think it will always trade at some premium to book. I think the fact that it has access to the capital markets in so many fashions, from preferreds to converts to equity, allow it to trade at that premium. And the biggest risk you have on MicroStrategy is either you believe in Bitcoin is going higher or not. You worry perhaps about their leverage. To me, it's a modest amount of leverage. If you notice, they've only put unsecured debt, non-recourse on their balance sheet this time, whereas 3 years ago they had a $200 million secured loan from Silvergate Bank. That could have really hurt them badly in that downturn. They have none of that now. For instance, 2027 is their first maturity of $1 billion of converts. Real downturn if Bitcoin was at 30,000, they'd just have to sell kind of around 33,000 of Bitcoin, and they own like 460,000 Bitcoin, so less than 8% of their holdings they'd have to sell. They can manage through the balance sheet very well. I think they've been very prudent on how they're structuring it. So to land the plane on your question, like, we really think it remains a great stock, a great flywheel. We're believers in Bitcoin prices going up a lot over time. We think demand will outstrip supply for Bitcoin as a store of value. So I think Michael and them have a flywheel, and at 2.2, we think it's good value right here.
And there you have it, my friends, another episode of MicroStrategy Today. I truly hope you enjoyed it. I wanted to end by sharing that I did vote my MicroStrategy shares here. This is the proxy that I went through to actually vote. I will just kind of give a little warning, is that I was not contacted, even by Fidelity. They never emailed me. They never messaged me that this vote was available. I had to go on the chat and ask them what I had to do. They had to take me through the steps to actually get to it, which I never would have found on my own. And then those steps took me under my documents tab, under my voting. And then I clicked this and it took me to this page here. And I was able to vote, and I voted all of my shares. So my recommendation is, if you do own MicroStrategy shares, just go ahead and either call or jump on the chat feature with your investment bank. They will walk you through it. They'll get you there. Let them know that it's available to vote. We want our voices heard, in my opinion. As you can see, I voted for on all of these measures because I believe in Michael Saylor. I believe in MicroStrategy. I know what they're doing. I believe in it. I love what they're going to be doing with these 10 billion shares, with more ATM, with more convertible bonds and preferred stocks, and future stock splits, which we're very excited about for obvious reasons. So just wanted to say, get out there. Let's vote, my friends. Let's let our voice be heard. And then here you can see my official voted. Thank you for voting. And I am happy to have voted. I'm looking forward to see what the results are. I think it's going to be overwhelming in favor of all of these things for MicroStrategy. Of course, time will tell. But remember, as Michael Saylor says, there is no second best.
What's the second best? There is no second best.